Ladies and gentlemen, now we enter one of the most anticipated sessions of FSM 2025, and that's Seafarers Connect, a direct dialogue with industry leaders. This exclusive session is designed for our seafarers and maritime students to engage directly with the people who truly shape our industry. It's your chance to hear first-hand insights, share your challenges, and explore your career pathways with those who are at the helm of maritime leadership. Allow me to introduce our esteemed moderator and panelists for this session. As Shukla sir said, Captain Shiv Halbe, CEO MASSA, an industry veteran whose contributions to maritime policies and training have significantly enhanced seafarers' welfare. Can we invite Sir Captain Shiv Halbe, CEO MASSA, on stage? Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to Captain Shiv Halbe. Next, Captain Tushar Pradhan, the General Secretary, the Maritime Union of India, with 45 years of experience, including 27 years in command. He is a passionate advocate for seafarer welfare and gender inclusivity. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Captain Tushar Pradhan. Let's welcome him on stage. Well, up next, we have Mr. Chirag Bahri, Regional Director, ISWAN, a dedicated leader in supporting seafarers and their families, especially in times of crisis. Let's all welcome Mr. Chirag Bahri. Well, next, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Captain Pradeep Correa, Director of Seven Islands Maritime Training Foundation, a leader committed to shaping the next generation of maritime professionals. Let's all welcome sir on stage. And along with Captain Pradeep Correa, I invite Captain Jason and Captain Schubert also to please join them on stage. Well, friends, they say, ना पैसा लगता है, ना खर्चा लगता है, बस ताली बजाओ तो अच्छा लगता है. Let's all give a thunderous round of applause to our panelists. Come on, everybody. Welcome you on stage, sir. Well, now, without further delay, I invite Captain Shiv Halbe to take the stage and this discussion. You want to come here? No problem. I have the mic, sir. I'll give you one. Okay, perfect.
So you're the first person who's going to stand up. You did.
I'm told I think better standing. That's what I'm told. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Better. Okay. Please, gentlemen, please have a seat. Firstly, wishing everyone a happy International Women's Day. Come closer to the, okay. Wishing everyone a happy International Women's Day. And we must not forget to extend our felicitations to Alexa, Siri, and Karen Jacobson. I hope you know who they are. They all know that. Good. You will need them. I did walk in when the last question was being answered, though I didn't get the question properly, so I didn't understand the answers also properly. But I did pick up about certain jobs that are there for transition from ship to shore, if that was the correct. But I missed out on one thing, and I'm disappointed, at least for the young ladies. You had the inspiration sitting there on the stage. Why are you not missing out on Chairman, Managing Director, SCI? That's your aim. That should be your aim. She was there on the stage. So it's not about being a superintendent. It's not just about being a commercial operator, post-fixture. It's about beyond that. Think beyond that. I've set the tone, Captain Correa and Captain Pradhan. What we will be doing is, of course, industry interaction with the seafarers. I will set the ball rolling. We have never had a dry run, so it's going to be as much as a surprise for you what I'm going to ask as it is going to be for me, because I haven't asked those questions yet. We will be civil, or we'll try to be here. And let's see, our profession has been historically, during the days when communications were not what they were, and even now, has unfortunately seen this them and us divide. How, and mind you, over the years, we all keep wishing that it will reduce, it will vanish, but it has not. In certain degree, it is there. What would your thoughts be as to, I mean, we have to keep it short, what your thoughts would be as to why it is there, and how can we bridge that them and us? Typical, you know, he has forgotten when he was sailing, he has forgotten now that he's ashore. I mean, come on, okay, that's a fact. He's ashore now. So, Captain Correa.
No, I don't think Captain Halbe, sir, that time, yes, when you were young cadet in Sindhias, we came from SCI. Those days when the superintendent walked in, everybody had to stand up, etc. I think things have changed now in today's generation. All CEOs, COs are expected to go on board, visit their seafarers, meet them, get to understand them better, find out what their difficulties, and come back and resolve it. It's also there in TMSA also, and it is being followed as a practice. Good ship owners want it that way. So I think that divide was of the past. Yes, you and I grew up with the divide, but now I have headed the company for 5 years. I used to myself personally visit because it was there to get a feel of what were the challenges they were facing, because sometimes the superintendent tells them something which is different. So I think it came out that we needed a first-hand situation so that the seafarers are not victimized in any way by the people below, and they were not. I think things have changed. Do you have anybody who's got any different idea?
Yeah, sure. We have a seafarer.
Yeah, I'm a seafarer. Hello, my name is Captain Shubert Jacinto Perez. I'm with MSc. And about this gap, this divide that you're talking about, I would say I don't see that a lot in MSc because we run the company like a family. So if there's a problem on board, it is our problem. It's not your problem or my problem. That's what I've seen over the years in MSc. And it's the family culture which is what has drawn me to this company, and I love it here. But this divide over the years where it's your problem or they're not supplying the stores and stuff like that, I've seen it like just merge into one smooth operation. So there's no divide. I've seen the divide has gone, and you tackle the problem as a group. It's like, it's our problem. It's office is involved, we are involved, suppliers are involved. So I've seen that very well being smoothened out in MSc, at least at the moment.
Would you like?
Yeah, on the same, I would agree with Captain Schubert as well. I'm Captain Jason here. The divide is no more like what has been said, because we have learned from the past experiences out here, past experiences. So there's more of connectivity right now as what it used to be before. And we have learned from what the seniors have left behind and the case studies. So we have overcome all those. So we have a clear, if we need something, everything has been like, there is a hierarchy where everything is taken care of. With the level of ranks and show support as well.
Fair, good. Nice to hear this.
Yeah. You're getting all positive news from this side.
Sorry?
All positive vibes from this side.
Yeah,
Two days of brotherhood. 2 days of brotherhood. 2 days of brotherhood, I can see that. Good.
I think you've missed the bus so far, but now you have to listen to everything. From my perception, it is now basically the accountability which has now in there, so by which the shore and the sea both are accountable. Before it was only one-sided because of lack of communication, lack of documentation. There were no proper SMS manuals on board when we went out sea. And so it was all left. The superintendents came in, they bashed you up a little, they went when we saw their back off, we know we are free for the next 3-4 months. But now it doesn't happen. The inclusivity is also now increased. Everybody wants to be, there so that it is seen that we are together. The number of claims that are coming. Those days the shipping was a small fraternity. Now the shipping is growing leaps and bounds. We have so many companies, so many ships, so many Indians manning the ships now at the top level. So that has created a lot of awareness, and that's one of the reasons why the gap has been not totally bridged, but we are quite close to it. So that's one of the reasons, or many of these reasons I feel. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a very small point on different perspective about the shore personals also. Do they understand about the seafaring life altogether? Non-marine side, I'm saying, and those working the shore staff. And because in my last interactions with a few of the shipping companies with the shore staff, they mentioned to me this particular gap out there, that we don't fully understand the shipping life and their families' issues and challenges that they face. I think that is also some gap that needs to be still filled up. Thanks.
Thank you for this answer or answers. But I won't ask any supplementary questions, but I will just give you a small pointer that there is something called Seafarer International Research Center in Cardiff, and they publish reports of surveys, etc. And there is a report on this topic that we have just spoken. I would urge you to look at that. Obviously, when I'm saying, it is at variance to what this has said. And I'm very happy to hear that, because even that could be tainted. We don't know that as to whom they have talked to. Okay. Who is going to be taking the seafarers or questions from outside? Shakat? Where is he gone?
Shaukat?
Shakat. How do we get the questions from outside? I will give it to you. Okay. I'll give it to you. When? No. I mean, I can continue with the dialogue. Okay. Mobile. Okay. And that brings me to another question. It is this monster. And I'm calling this a monster simply because the first time the world came to know the power of nuclear was Hiroshima, Nagasaki. But thereafter, the power of nuclear is energy, and now they are talking about powering ships, merchant ships. This device, which has intruded our lives maybe 15 years or 20 years ago, how do you gentlemen see this equipment as a boon or a bane, or what it is? Wonderful, not wonderful?
Are you talking related to shipping or any general in your lives?
Shore and ship.
You want to answer that from the
It is shore and ship. Whatever we are talking about is shore and ship.
Well, what you said, to take it as a boon or a blessing, it's the same. You have a rolling pin to bail the rotis as well. You can hit someone with a rolling pin. Rolling pin. The same way, it's a boon. It depends how you use it. But on board, as a master, what I do is I monitor the rest hours, and if someone is exceeding the rest hours, I just disconnect him on the web page itself. So it's being used as a boon.
I'd say both ways. It's a boon and a bane. It's good for connectivity. That is for people to stay in touch with their families and stuff. Also, we can connect with the superintendents, video call for any emergencies. We can get faster connectivity, better response from the office. From that way, it's an advantage. But it's also a big distraction for the next generation of sailors, especially the cadets. They waste a lot of their time just scrolling, and so many hours are gone wasted, which is what I spoke to a few of you all today, Spend more time reading, learning. Don't waste time. You can either do this or do that, but you can't do both. Read, learn, progress, but don't waste your time. Don't use it as a distraction. Use it to advantage, but don't get distracted by it.
I don't agree to this. The reason being is now it's e-learning. So you need to have it in your hand. So it has to be taken in a positive way. So I can't see the cadet should have it. E-scrolling, everything is E on. We are paperless now. MSc is paperless. So we got to have it, but it should not be used. As I told you, the rolling pin, the same way, it applies here as well.
So you as a master needs to monitor and have control or understanding. of what-
Exactly, that's what I said. So what I as a master I do is we have a web page. So we check who is online, who is offline. If the gentleman is online and is exceeding his rest hours so I disconnect him. So in that way he complies with rest hours as well, and he does his study as well.
It's a minefield.
I have a slightly different approach. I prefer teaching them that they should take the initiative from themselves. That you know when is your rest hours, switch off your phones, get your rest, be fresh for the navigational watch. You be responsible for not wasting your time. Now, you're on your screen. Like you said, you could be e-learning or you could be browsing and wasting your time. That choice is yours. I cannot come and monitor each and every one of you in your cabins. It's your choice. You choose to study instead of scrolling and wasting your time. So, learn, progress. That's just my take.
Who spoiled them? That's my question.
I did not invent this.
You are the one who's showing that face. So it's left to the individual. I know it's a good thing, but there are also the side effects of it. At the age of 18, when you are there on board, I don't think you all are kids. You all are quite fairly matured enough to know when you should take rest and what is the interest. If you have that interest in seeing something and that makes you relax, fair enough. So it's nothing about, there is a good thing about it is a connectivity, as I said, you can get through your superintendents, charters, everything, you can send some snaps if something is not in order immediately. But when it comes for this social thing, today the number of staff on board has reduced. How many of us are ever going into the saloons or the smoke rooms and watching a movie? None. So where are we together? We are as an individual, we isolate ourselves. So you need these tools also, where you can watch a movie or you can do some reading. Today, how many mentors are out there on board? I won't go back again that how you used to mentor me and make us study and we learned from you all when you were seniors. But today, are we doing that? So I think this is an aid, also an advantage. It's an instrument. Use it rightfully. Rest is very important. Work and rest hours. That rest hours is given doesn't mean you close your eyes and you are fast asleep. You have to sleep. No. You can meditate yourself. You can do some yoga exercises. It's your free time. Ensure you have sufficient sleep that you're fresh back for work. That's what I want to add to that. Thank you.
I want to just add here about now coming on to, I think all of you have agreed that it can be used in a good way and a bad way. I'll tell you about how the families can be impacted also about that. So in our work over the last few years, we have seen it can be a positive thing for the families because you could not be at home because of some event, some family function or something. They can do a video call with you. They can share pictures with you immediately. You can be part of the event while not being physically there. Or so many other stories can come from home, positive stories with you, and you can have a chat with your family, with your friends all together. But it can be also negative because immediately the problems land up with the seafarers on board and they feel too stressed to take a decision of what next to be done about it. And they feel sometimes depressed, anxious about those situations. So again, everything has two sides of thing, but how are we going to balance the thing? How are we going to empower our families that how they can best use the mobile phones and making them understand that our life on board is also tough. We won't be able to communicate with you 24/7. Yes, it's there with us, but it doesn't mean that we are there 24/7 live. You cannot expect us to be online 24/7, and you need to set those boundaries with your families before you set your first sail and make them also understand your situation, your likely situation on board. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, the phone or use of media can be very challenging. Just to narrate you last month I was on a transatlantic flight coming eastward into UK, and our section, the entertainment system wasn't working. And there was a young person sitting next to me, and it was like, oh my God, it won't be working. And to me, it was delightful. I'll go to sleep. And when we got out in UK, okay, I went through immigration. That person also went through immigration. And it so happened that we were waiting at the lift to go down to take transport. And I asked, she was a lady, I asked, oh, we meet again type thing. Yes, we meet. She said, oh, I had a wonderful sleep, without the entertainment. I said, there you are. Everything has to have a measure, and we must do it in the right way. Sometimes I hear this murmur, or sometimes it is a dialogue, that the seafarers are being treated like a commodity. How true is that? And what is a commodity? Commodity is one where the prices are dictated by market demand. That's what, if there is a lack of, the government comes out with the onion ban because the onion crop has failed and price of onion goes up to 200 or 100 rupees. So to bring the price down, being a staple food, to bring the price down, they ban export of onions. So some action is taken. So you are seafarers, we have shore-based managers here, we have the union representative.
Let's the seafarers answer this question first.
First of all, I think this is just the wrong approach to think about prices and money and salary and this much is your salary here and there, and that's just the wrong approach. Especially I'm talking to the cadets. You are joining this profession, join it for the passion of the profession. People today are joining it for the money. That's the wrong reason. Join it to become a captain, to become a chief engineer, to go all the way. Stop thinking about alternative routes. Plan B, I will go into, after 5 years, 10 years, I'll go into a land job. That is the wrong attitude to enter this profession. It's like Adidas says, all in or nothing. That's the winning attitude. You go like there is no backup plan. You have to go, you have to win. That's the attitude you have to go. So price doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether this company is paying you $100 or $200 more. Many companies have offered me more money, bigger ships. I'm very happy with the company I am with. I'm not leaving for the money because I love the company which I'm working for and I love the family culture. But like I said, don't think about the money, don't think about the numbers. Focus on the right reasons to go all the way. The money will come as a byproduct. Focus on success, the money comes as a byproduct. That's my take.
Well said, the seafarers are all on the side of the employers, I can see. Captain Halbe, you're losing this team now.
I'm not.
No, because this was discussed earlier in the panel discussion, what all ship owners are doing to take care of the seafarers. So all this commodity trading and all is reduced considerably because the ship owners also become more proactive to take care of the seafarers today.
I will just broaden up this thing because there are so many good responsible ship owners. Many of them are present here as well in this room, and those who are taking extra care of the seafarers. But beyond shipping, beyond the shipping environment, how many people do really, the outside world, take care of the seafaring and the seafarers at all? We have seen in COVID how much difficulties it was there for the shipping industry to negotiate with the different countries to open the borders for seafarers or to recognize them as the key workers. I think that is also something which reflects back on the seafarers. Are we there just as a commodity? We understand that the shipping industry takes care of them very well, but how much is there people across who are non-into shipping do care of the seafarers? I think this is the continuous process of keep raising the profile of seafarers and keep making people aware that seafarers are the key workers, and seafarers have been the biggest supporters of the economy of every country. So I think if that is somewhere is common people also understand that one day I think definitely seafarers will get that their due dignity.
Yes, I fully agree with you, Bahri, that what you've said. The seafarers are getting now the due respect, but in times to come, it will be more and more. Commodity, because you see, today it is the accountant who's running the vessels. He doesn't know ABC of shipping. But it is the figures that matter of spending how much money, X, Y, Z. So they don't care much for how much hardships we have to go through, how we struggle to get things moving. Good companies, good owners, as you rightfully said, that they are here and they do look into that you are paid well. No money, no honey. So that is very important.
I would like to stop you here because
Sir, you're getting very
the
romantic,
direction
boss.
you're taking is not the one intended. So
This is an interaction session, so I have the
Yeah,
right.
we
It's
will
a democracy.
we will interact.
I can see, I get the smile and laughter from them. I'm looking at the youngsters, not at the senior people.
He's in a very aggressive mood today. Be careful. Our MUI boss.
Maybe his membership has increased recently. He's in an aggressive mood.
Now you're coming. Now he's talking commodity.
Yeah, indeed. The word commodity does sound very banal, and it is not. Though there are accusations, allegations, etc., that the HR practices across shipping companies needs a sea change compared to what is there in the developed companies ashore for various reasons. Though there is a big problem, and definitely in this country, our country, is about shore leave for seafarers. And over the last 15 years, things have only become worse. And that needs to change. I think people across the table here, our panel here, are making efforts, so we know that. But how do you handle that part? I mean, Captain, shore leave.
You're like you are.
Lack of it. Or is it not a problem?
We discussed that also because we had on this previous panels all talking about this. What are they doing to correct themselves, incentivizing the seafarers, and getting them back into retention policies. So all the companies, their HR department has been already told to work on it and ensure that the seafarers are the people who drive the business. So if you don't take care of them, how are you going to drive the business, right? So I think that in the past, yes, we had negotiations. We had to get the ship owners were very tight. I think they're all changing in times. They know the seafarers' importance. And I think they're all working towards giving them the right dues. These two are people who are endorsing the same. Otherwise, they would have spoken something different. So it's clearly that shipping companies are taking corrective actions and moving in that direction. Otherwise, they'll be left out. Because the business is such, you need the seafarers as part of your growth. And India is an important point because India is becoming in the world where training, seafarer numbers are only increasing. So people want to come to India and they want to take the right type of seafarers. They all make sure that they are best incentivized. And that is where India is growing as a manpower supplying nation. Anything you got to say, Tushar, you'll have the last word, right?
What you mentioned was right. The shore leave, the way it has been handled, it gives an impression that we are considered as a commodity. Nobody cares for the seafarers. Last 3 years, we've been struggling with Director General of Shipping to ensure that all ports, this shore leave is open. The approach that they have, the bureaucracy that they have, they came out with some ports where the woman will not be allowed to step out after 5. We have women seafarers. What is it now? Why are you putting these restrictions? So what they say has absolutely no meaning to it. It is only under pressure that they have managed to get shore leave in some of the ports. We are still struggling to get it in other ports. Some reason or the other, there is no immigration there, no XYZ is there. So these are not the reasons. We always had the shore leave earlier. The more the ports, the more the problems we are going to face. And also rightfully, in the earlier sessions, there was a word about criminalization of the seafarers, which is also being done, and nobody cares for that. The governments are not interested in actually getting our seafarers back in time and giving them that support?
That has been a contentious issue for a while. And as ISWAN, do you see a resolution to this challenge which Captain Pradhan just raised?
The only thing is about how can we increase more and more awareness among seafarers about these issues, and they take the right path as well and right choice as well. Like if I look back into some of the things where you can at least, now criminalization is something which is, sometimes it's beyond seafarers' perspective, because they have no idea about whose cargo it is on board and what do they have. But having said that, if you can make other things correct, for example, the recruitment issues which are there in India, and unfortunately the exploitation of some of the Indian seafarers which has happened, and we need not be proud of that. India is the largest, Indian seafarers are the largest who have been abandoned outside. I think if we are all aware about these kind of issues which are there, we take steps right when you are joining your first ships, or in the future, how to join the right good companies. What bypass rules you don't have to avoid those bypasses to make in your careers. That at least you can avoid some of these issues out there. Then the criminalization issue, specifically on the criminalization, I think there is a lot of work which is going on at the IMO also on the guidelines, the fair treatment of seafarers. But again, how the other countries, and I will go back to my first point about how the countries are treating seafarers as in a whole. Like how seafarers have been able, they see seafarers as a really value people in the entire chain of system. That is missing somewhere, and in the world across. The guidelines are all there, but are they getting implemented? The answer is it's left up to the country whether they want to implement it or not. So that has been a very difficult scenario for every one of us, even for the ITF unions and for us who are providing the emotional support to the seafarers and their families. Many a times we are seeing that the seafarers are not even given the consular supports or not even provided basic dignity when they have been held in prisons and other places in different countries. I think we keep raising the matter about it, but I think the first step should be that we have enough awareness about it and we take the right steps from our side, do the proper research while you join your first ships or in your careers. Thank you.
Yeah, true. But you highlighted that money is not the one you chase. Money is important, without which we won't be here. So we cannot ignore money, but at the same time, we need to be careful of what we are doing.
I would just like to add to it. I am sailing with MSC. We in MSC, we believe in equal opportunity and equal rights. So I had a woman cadet, she would prefer going out at 1800. There was no chaos about it. But 2300 surely was stopped for all the crew members. So each one, all individuals were treated the same way. Equal opportunity and equality. So there was no sort of chaos. So
now, what Captain Pradhan mentioned is not 5 o'clock shore leave stops for on board. It is the port rule was 5 o'clock shore leave stopping. Okay. So they will allow the man to go ashore at 6 o'clock, but not the lady to go ashore.
Well,
that was the problem.
I have not come across it.
That's what he said. So it was not about equal opportunity. It was about equal opportunity or equally treated by the shore authorities. That was the problem.
But that's only in India, right? We're not talking about...
It happens only in India, my friend. When we don't have problems, we invent them. What's wrong with it? Yeah. There is a question from one of the seafarers. How do you handle harassment on board? Shipboard harassment. See, one thing I would like to sort of qualify here, that there is a very fine line between being firm and being bully or harassment. There's a fine line that needs to be tread very carefully.
But I'd like to answer this because now there are more women cadets, girl cadets, pay attention. So you all will be going on board. And I've had the experience of working with women before when I was in the lower ranks, and I've had a girl cadet also on board. So there are a lot of challenges that they are ready for this industry, but unfortunately the people on board are not ready for them. we have to train the people on board that this is what is going to come. There are going to be a lot more women in the industry. Be ready for it. Treat them professionally. It's a professional workplace. Treat them equally. Let them go for stations. Let them take the walkie-talkie. Let them do anchor stations under supervision. But if you treat them ladki hai and then give them special treatment, they are not going to learn. So that's where there is a line. And then when it comes to harassment, also, it's the mentality of people on board. I think it comes from the top down, and it's how we control the crew on board to make sure that it's a professional workplace. Treat the girl cadet like you would treat the guy cadet. Don't pass rude remarks to her because you would not do that to the guy. Don't misbehave with them because you would not do that to the guy. So it's how you train your crew, how you educate, but it comes from the top down. And that's where you avoid the mistake before it happens. So I don't want harassment to happen on board. So make it clear, let the people know in advance that these are the rules. Don't break these rules. Treat them equally. Treat them like you would treat a guy cadet.
Regarding harassment, like as we see, for a old nut, you have to hit it hard. So it's like carrot and stick policy. And well, in MSC, we have a speak out policy wherein Miss Ma'am Neeta, you can directly call up. The number has been given to the woman cadet as well as Captain Basin. So they can directly approach them right on WhatsApp if there no action been taken. And like in MSC, I have not seen any sort of harassment cases of encouraging the woman. Like, it's we who put it in the head, like, when we start the conversation as male and a female, that is how we start. If we don't start differentiating male and a female, then the topic doesn't arise only. Treat them equally.
It's International Women's Day.
Okay. Happy Women's Day to all of you all, yeah. Thank you.
Easier. I'm tempted to say it's easier said than done. Okay?
We have gone through it.
It is easier. No, what happens here, remember one thing. When I came ashore, the only lady in the office was the telex operator. And she used to take shorthand. Captain Correa might know dictation, where we had to dictate the messages. By the time I finished with my career in active shipping, somewhat, the fleet managers were women. So over a span of 2 decades or 2.5 decades, the difference was huge from all male ashore to more than 50% female ashore. That transition we have seen. So it's not uncommon for the shore staff to interact with females because they're there. I mean, you get into a public transport, they're there. So it was nothing much. It was on ship, it was the difficult one. And so these challenges will remain for a little bit more time, for sure. And because, as you rightly pointed out, that the dyed-in-the-wool sailor has to accept that, it's not all about big muscles and sledgehammers. No, it's not about that anymore, only. Yeah.
So I would just like to put forward the data of the Seafarer Helpline being operated by ISWAN. The last year, one of the biggest challenges reported by seafarers, including both men and women, is bullying and harassment. Unfortunately, this is increasing every year. And this impacts the entire mental health and well-being of that person who has been infected. And not just that person's family as well, you can imagine. So if we look at the first thing, what policy, I think every company needs to have a very strict policy out there, which needs to be, be seen getting implemented as well. Policy should not be just in the books. It should be seen as implemented, then only it will work. Secondly, there has to be, we don't need to single out men and women out there. You need to do this, you need to do that. I think both men and women need to work together on board as a team. So there has to be an allyship between them. There has to be more momentum around how we can improve the allyship between both men and women. Because as I said, bullying and harassment is happening not only just for women seafarers, but also for men have reported a number of cases where they have been harassed and bullied as well. So I think both of the parties needs to look into how they are going to speak to each other. what words and actions can have an impact on each other's psychological, that can leave behind a psychological impact on the other person. The empathy, I think since morning we have been discussing a lot of these words out there, but we need to build that into the implementation on board as well. So therewise, we need a lot of awareness and training among the people, among the seafarers about these particular issues, that their each actions, words can disturb the other person, psychological, they won't feel safer to come out of it and talk about their issues if they have been bullied every time and they can't speak about it. So how the senior leaderships on board can create a psychological safer environment, that is also a key, which I think I'm sure that each and every company is looking into as well.
Yes, I would like to absolutely agree with you on this. This is where the top 4 on board, the management on board, these people need to be educated. These need to be taught that, yes, there are going to be more women coming on board. They create the whole atmosphere. They are the guys who create the safety for women on board. So on board, the training needs to be given to the top 4 on a shore or by briefings, which our company is doing. So even other companies can do this. Brief the top 4 before they go on board that this is how you protect women on board. This is how you create a safe atmosphere on board. Be ready for more women in the industry. Keep an open mind and stuff like that.
I think most of the companies are having this sensitization course, and I think the staff on board are fairly aware of now. A healthy atmosphere is very important. I will stress, and this, the top 4 are now understood, that if you want to have youngsters coming in, women seafarers, we have to make sure that we are able to accept them. Don't be judgmental. When we start becoming judgmental, then all the issues start happening. Accept them as your colleagues. Don't consider them as your daughters and sisters. That's not how it should be. They are your colleagues. Work professionally. Be their mentors. Take them on with you. Show them how they have to conduct themselves. And then a proper atmosphere is created on board. There is a thin line, there is a difference between what is bullying and what is harassment. Today, you have all the norms available to report these matters 24/7. There are helplines available. So these things are slowly receding, and it will recede at a faster pace as they start doing the gender sensitization courses. And that has to be online, ongoing training. It is just not for the men, it is also for the women. So cheer up and don't get afraid by these big words. Life is safer on board, and enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Chirag, with all this, cases would have reduced because ship owners are taking action. Is it reducing or what's happening?
No, it's actually the bullying and harassment cases have unfortunately increased as when reported. I think it's because of the cases which are reported from the seafarers who are not coming into a good ship owners and all that. And a lot of cases are coming also from the yacht crew sector as well. That area is also bringing a lot of issues around bullying and harassment into the data.
As the
The yacht crew not regulated, that's the reason, right?
That's correct.
As the awareness of reporting has increased, so has the reporting increased. So it's one feeding of the other. And Captain Pradhan, you actually touched on a very valid point. That sometimes, especially we see this, at least people of our culture, that you are like a daughter to me, you are like a sister to me. Rubbish. You are on board as a second mate, you are on board as a third mate, please do your job. You are nobody more than that. If it were a boy, I wouldn't say that you are like a son to me. No. So why would it be? So kindly do your job. That's very, very,
treat them
very
professionally.
Yeah.
I was fortunate to be a master on a passenger vessel with 140 women there. And I took over from a Norwegian master, and he only gave me one advice: don't fall a prey for crocodile tears. You have to evaluate yourself before you take any action on anyone.
Okay. I think we have had an alert from the organizer, and we must now curtail our interesting dialogue at this stage. no crocodile tears, so no crocodile smiles also now. And, we will,
Bigger smiles then.
we will cease, and of course the evening is there, and we will continue with our dialogue. And I must thank all the panelists for a wonderful and straight from the heart responses. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Continue to be on stage. Hello, everybody. Yes, and I'm so glad that through your blessings I got a little bit of my voice back because I had to bring the curtains down on FSM. But before we go, I would like to take this moment to thank our panelists, and I'd like to invite Dr. Sanjeev Vakil from HMT and Gaurav Bajaj from Vatsala to please come on stage and felicitate our panelists, please. Yes, they are right here. And I think this deserves a round of applause. This is our last panel that we bid adieu to on the FSM stage. Gentlemen, thank you.